Cheers.
Cheers. Here's to you and
Cheers.
to taste.
Here's to you and to helping me with it.
Now, I don't know if you know this, but you made a video which you very kindly gave to us to share when Taste came out in hardback, which is you cooking pasta con aglio e olio. And you may be surprised to know that has been viewed on our YouTube channel over 1 million times.
Come on.
It has over 1,600 comments on it. What do you think those comments are about?
I don't want to know.
It will not surprise you to know that, of course, with any Italian dish, people have got very strong opinions about how it should or shouldn't be cooked.
Yes.
And the thing that seems to excite people the most is that you added some olive oil to the pasta cooking water, which you did because you admitted that you'd added too much pasta, so you didn't want it to get stuck.
Yes,
but this apparently was a cardinal sin. Have you any words in your defense?
It's completely untrue. It's a cardinal sin for some people, and for others it isn't. It's that simple. Do you know what I mean? I mean, in some religions, blah, blah, blah is a sin. In other religions, it isn't. So I suppose if we think about it that way.
This is one of the amazing things, though, isn't it, about Italian food, is that there are very strong opinions about how things should be cooked, but there are also these regional variations, and everyone has their own ways of doing it.
Not only regional, it's sort of province by province, town by town, street by street, house by house. I mean, it's that. I mean, to the point where, we sort of make a point of it in the show that I do for CNN, that you can cook a dish, you can go to somebody's restaurant or house, and you say, oh, this is so wonderful, this, whatever it is. And you say, this is wonderful, you put parsley in it. And they go, yes. I go, do you put blah, blah? No, never. Oh, no, that would be disgusting. You go down the street to some other guy's house or another restaurant, you say, do you put blah, blah? Absolutely, you can't have it without it. And you think, you're crazy. Like, you're crazy people. The entire country is crazy. But that was the way I was brought up, and I'm the same way, and I find myself doing it.
The sections in the book where you talk about your childhood had me sort of yearning with a nostalgia for a childhood that wasn't even mine, but there was something about that kind of, the way that thing of making great vats of tomato sauce and putting it away, or making your own wine, making the best of what you had. You talk about the sort of wedge sandwiches that you used to have for school every day.
Yeah.
And actually, even the bread, there's one bit where you talk about, so I was lucky enough to go to Florence recently, and made the mistake of ordering in the shop some, what I thought was focaccia, but was not, was schiacciata. Is very, very different, although to a Philistine like me, almost exactly the same.
No, it's different,
But you talk about buying chunks of that wrapped in wax paper and just sort of tucking, and I was like, that's the life I want.
It was so good. The salt content was incredible, salt and oil. But it was made probably in like a factory or somewhere. Do you know what I mean? Not a factory, but do you know what I mean? It was pretty widely, made and distributed, and it was absolutely delicious. Delicious.
Do you miss, obviously your life has changed so much from those fairly humble beginnings. And I wonder whether, with the access that you must have now to sort of fine dining and restaurants, whether you miss some of the sort of simplicity of that childhood.
No, I don't miss it because I recreated it at home.
Right.
And I recreate it. I miss it because I'm not with my parents, obviously, and my sisters, and my cousins and all that. But the food itself. I recreate at home all the time. I can't obviously do everything that my grandmother did or that my mother still does. And if I were to do it, I wouldn't do it as well. And I know that. I've tried. So for me, I wake up, like I told you this morning, I woke up and I had this rabbit in the refrigerator that I bought over the weekend. And I was like, I got to cook this rabbit. I don't want to freeze it. So I started at 7:40 this morning, and it's really simple to do. There's nothing to do, but it's the first thing that's on my mind.
That is so clear through the book, is that you think about food constantly.
Constantly.
I think that obviously I first became aware of, I think you as an actor really, with the release of Big Night which I think is 1996 or something like
Yes.
that. 97.
Yeah.
And obviously, food is completely central to that film.
Yeah.
I remember being so impressed by the idea of timpano, to the point where I was like, I want to make that. I want
Yeah.
to do that. Of course, I've never tried, but timpano has been something of a family argument.
It's an issue. Yeah.
It's an issue.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about why you persist with timpano, even though nobody else in your family seems to want it.
Well, I happen to love it. I think it's delicious. A lot of people don't like it. My late wife hated it. Felicity hates it. My mother doesn't even really like it that much. It's my father's family. They love it. I have cousins who make it every Christmas. And then photos get sent around now, with your phones, and everyone goes, look at the timpano I made, They're crazy. It's crazy. I persist with it, and I'm kind of obsessed with it because it's so unusual, and because it's something that came from an ancient place. And again, like so many of these dishes that I grew up with, they were born out of necessity. How do you necessity and a sense of celebration, a sense of celebrating whatever it was. They used to take these timpanos like on a picnic. I mean, a simple sandwich would be fine. But
yeah.
No, they would carry this thing, in the drum or whatever after they had released it, and bring it with them and have it for a picnic in the woods. It's very unusual.
As a man who started cooking a rabbit at 7:40 this morning, as I said, your love of food is really clear in the book, and the fact that it occupies a huge part of your headspace. And that makes the sort of revelations towards the end of the book, where you talk about your cancer and treatment and the impact that had on you, all the more moving, because there must have been a fear that it was going to have an impact, even in recovery, that might affect your taste, your ability to eat and enjoy food and drink after that. Were you worried, once you'd got the kind of all clear, about what the long-lasting impact might be?
Yes, because I had read a lot about it. I was told a lot about it. And I was experiencing, extreme pain. I was experiencing being completely repelled by any smell, but food smells in particular. Nothing tasted like it should, and that's an understatement. It was horrible. And I also, I knew that there was the possibility that I might never have my taste and smell fully back again. And that was really scary. And I'm somebody I'm very impatient, and I have been lucky enough to never have really been ill my whole life, severely ill, or broken a leg, or nothing. I've been so lucky. And then this happened. And if I do get ill, or if I do strain myself or something, I heal very quickly. This was not happening with this. There's only so quickly you can heal. And for me, that was really frustrating. And it made me afraid that I was never, ever going to heal. Because I had no concept that healing would take a long time. I had no concept of a long time. And so it was really frustrating. I got very depressed. I was very afraid. And you feel, what I said in the book, is like, you can't go down and socialize with people. You can't even be with your kids. You can't be with anything because you can't bear the smell of anything. And you feel so nauseous from the excessive amount of radiation that you've had for 35 days in a row. That you feel like a ghost in your own house. And you hear life going on around you, and you see life going on outside the window, but you can't. To venture downstairs or to walk back up those stairs was like, this like, Herculean effort. So for me, I was so scared. And now still, it's 4 years on, I can't really eat everything still. Even when I'm, like you notice, like sometimes I'll just like swallowing suddenly becomes like for a second hard. But here's a weird thing that happened. So I lose the sense of taste and smell. Not lose it, it just gets like everything is just shit.
Yeah.
Now, it's more acute than it was before I got sick. And I explained this to an oncologist the other day, because I have to go regularly and get checked. And he said, "What are you talking about?" I said, "Look, I'm not making it up. I can smell things and I can taste things that I never could before. My understanding, like my physical understanding of things, is so much greater than it ever was." He goes, "I've never heard of that." I go, I know. I've never read about it. Usually you get to a certain level, maybe you get 80%, 90% back. You might have it all back, but it's back. This is, I can smell stuff. I can walk into a room and go, "Oh, there's that in that." I can taste something and say, "Oh, there's a little bit of cinnamon in this." I did it when we were on the show, filming in Venice. And the guy I was eating with, he said, "Really, you think so?" And I was like, "Yes." And he said, "Well, maybe it's the sweetness of the blah, blah, blah." I said, "Yeah, it could be." And then the chef came over and I said, "So what do you put in this?" And he went through everything. And I said, "Okay." "And no cinnamon?" And he said, "Oh yeah, like that much cinnamon." And I was very excited, of course, you know, but I could taste it. I never would have been able to taste that before.
Are you saying that you have developed an actual taste superpower?
Yes. Okay. Yeah. It's really weird.
As long as you use these powers for good.
Yes, of course. Yeah, I promise not to hurt anyone with them. But I still can't eat like big chunks of meat and stuff like that. I can't just go like dive into a big pork belly sandwich or something like that. But for the most part, I can eat okay.
To finish off, Stanley, I'm going to give you a quick fire round. Instead of either or, you have to pick. There can be no hesitation.
Oh, really?
Well, you can hesitate.
Oh, shit, my whole life is about hesitation.
It's really easy. There's not too many. So, if you're ready, we'll begin.
Yeah.
Pizza or pasta?
Pasta.
Wine or cocktail?
Yes.
Both, please.
Yes, both, please.
Eating in or eating out?
Both. I can't do these. I'm bad at it.
Tea or coffee?
Coffee.
Sweet or savoury?
Savory.
Meat or fish?
Meat.
Starter or dessert?
Starter.
And finally, and this is a subtle thing, do you prefer to do the cooking or to be cooked for?
I prefer to do the cooking.
Great. What time am I coming around?
Oh, whenever you want, as soon as we finish.
Stanley, thank you so much.
Thank you.